allowing all the thoughts from before to leave you. Just grounding yourself in right now. Bringing your palms together in front of your heart center. Taking deep breath in. Exhaling completely. Breathing in for Om. And slowly opening your eyes. Namaste. And this class will discuss how to teach pranayama. So I put a couple of points in here, which I want to talk about with you today. So the first point, I put self-practice. And it's number one, as this is the base of everything, of any kind of teaching. Wherever we are teaching, if we're not practicing it ourselves, we're not going to be able to share it properly. Because there are different types of knowledge, let's say, whenever you are sharing. Is that knowledge which you are sharing from your own experience, from your own practice, from your own understanding? Or is that the knowledge which you just read in the books and you didn't really experience it fully yourself? So that would be always different. And you can feel when someone is teaching just from that thing which they read and maybe learn by heart, or if somebody is teaching from their own experience, through their own practice. And this is much better quality and much easier as well to teach. Because if we really practice this, what we are teaching, we're not stressed because we know what we are doing. If we learn something by heart and just try to say the word by word, something how we read, that's not going to work really. First of all, you will not be confident, you will not be sure of the things which you are saying because you didn't experience it fully. So this is a big difference in here. That's why I'm really inviting you to practice. This is what you want to be teaching. So in here you're getting to know so many different techniques of breath, so many different styles of yoga asana. We are having vinyasa or hatha or ashtanga, certain postures which you feel comfortable with, certain you feel not comfortable. So whenever you will start teaching, that's not the point that you have to teach everything. No, just pick up this, what really works for you, what you are able to understand and what you experience fully by yourself. Then you can teach from your own experience. And then the stress also will go away. You will be much more confident with what you are actually doing. So that's the base, really, that's self-practice. So in pranayama, self-practice, I would like to invite you to set up some kind of a little daily routine. If you want to really be teaching pranayama, or if you want to even be practicing yourself, depending on your own practice, just think how much time you have. Let's say in the morning, you're waking up, when you will go back to your normal life. Let's say you're starting work at, I don't know, 8 a.m. So just think what time you would wake up. If you would like to put some kind of practice in there, how much time you want to actually put for the practice and which practices you want to do. So it might be even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, depending on the level of your engagement, let's say, and also on the time management. So it's actually not difficult to really keep that daily practice. It's only at the beginning it's challenging, when we need to change our habits. But once we change the habit and it's working with our daily program, then it's really easy to follow. And actually, if you would skip that practice 1 day or 2 days, then you feel like, whoa, there is something missing. So we're not that. So for example, right now when I do daily practice, I have around 2.5 hours of practices when I wake up. I'm able to share yoga, practice yoga every single day. So for example, before that, I used to work in Dubai and I was working as a flight attendant. So my lifestyle was completely out of balance. Like one time I would have to wake up at 3 a.m., then maybe at 6 p.m., then maybe at midday or midnight. Yes. So it's completely out of balance. But still, I really kept that daily routine every single time. I would wake up, I would practice. And no matter what time was that, I would every single time when I wake up practice. But it was never 1 hour. Maybe if I wake up at 3 a.m., I would just do 10 minutes of some little stretches, some deep breathing. It was much different than now. So I'm just telling you that it's important to have your daily practice, but allow it to also collaborate with your current lifestyle. And the world and all the time just traveling and moving and being out of balance. This little routine, that was the only routine I had, and that really helped me to keep my health as much as it could. So just try to think how much time you can put into your daily practice. Is it 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or is it half an hour or 2 hours? However it is for you, for this time, this moment of your life which you are in. And just analyze, what would you like to work on? What actually makes you feel good? What kind of practices you need, and in what time of the day? Yes?
Is it fundamental though to do it as soon as you wake up?
For me, yes. And ideally, mostly you would practice it as you wake up, especially because pranayama we want to practice on the empty stomach. So we don't want to do it right after food. You can also do it in the other part of the day, but later it has to be food. So you need to just think of it. Ideally, they advise around 4 hours after meal, 3-4 hours, because we don't want to do all those practices, especially like the energizing, like Kapalbhati, Bhastrika, Bandhas, Nauli. This you never want to do when you have food inside, right? Because it just doesn't feel good, it doesn't work. So that's why it would be usually in the morning. That's one of the reasons. And another reason for the morning is there is this time which is called Brahma Mucharya, and it's the time around 1.5 hours before the sunrise, where traditionally they would actually practice all the spiritual practices in this time. Because there are many, many reasons behind that, but basically, first of all, world is quiet at that time. There is no mess around, no noise around. It's much more peaceful. There is no internal mess and internal noise, as you are just more calm right after your sleeping time and right after your rest. So your mind is more clear of any obstructions. That's why it's better time for the spiritual practices. And as well, all the world is just slowly waking up. So it's a really beautiful and magical time. That's why it's usually, all these yogic practices are advised to be practiced in the morning. Yes. Yeah, that would be 4:30, but still depends on the parts of the world. They usually say 4:30 because it was like coming from India, but it depends, of course, where you are and which season. And for example, if it would be in Europe, 4:30, it would be middle of the night, right? Because sometimes it's getting bright at, I don't know, 8 a.m. So still, always taking that little space in here and thinking of the place where you are and the things which you are doing, just trying to adjust it to your lifestyle at this point of your life. Yes, so when you are setting up daily practice, first of all, thinking how much time you can put in there. Second of all, what kind of practices you want to practice. Maybe you wake up and you really need of energy, so you would do some more energizing practices. Maybe you really want to boost your metabolism, so again, that one. Maybe you just really need to breathe deeply and bring more oxygen into your body, into your day. You would just do some balancing techniques. Whatever it is for you, just think of it and try to put it into your daily routine. I will share with you my daily routine, so it might be helpful for some of you. So whenever I wake up, I just do all my cleansing practices, which are coming from Ayurveda, and I will also share them with you day after tomorrow. But basically, this is Jalaneti as well, the one which I showed you last time, the cleansing of sinuses, cleansing of all the oral things, which is the oil pulling and the tongue scraping. I will share with you more details about it later, but it's just like removing all the bacteria from your mouth, which is much more effective than just simply brushing the teeth. And after that, always I have some warm water, I ensure that I go to the toilet, and then my belly is ready for all the pranayama practices. So I always start, like with you guys, with Ujjayi breathing. I just do a couple of minutes of Ujjayi breath when I'm sitting outside in front of the rice fields in the silence. So I'm really super grateful also to be here in Bali, because before I would practice it in super polluted, huge city. Now here in Bali, it's just like pure bliss, pure pleasure. So really, it's amazing to practice that in here. And after a few minutes of Ujjayi, I'm beginning Kapalbhati. So I do the same like with you, 3 rounds of Kapalbhati.
Sorry, so how many minutes
Couple of minutes. I don't do it with the phone. I don't count it, but maybe around 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Yes, just the amount of time which I feel I need. It's just like kind of a warm up. So always when we wake up, we feel that our breath actually became a little shallow maybe. Also, if we sleep on the side, we're squeezing our chest. So then when you wake up, you start breathing, you start opening. You really feel that this air is needed in the morning. That's why it's very good to start with Ujjayi, because it helps you to open, helps you to bring more oxygen, more breath. After Ujjayi, I go to Kapalbhati. So I would do also 3 rounds. And I'm doing it always with Kumbhaka. So the breath retention, which we are practicing already as well. We have this Anakumbhaka, which is internal breath retention, Bahir Kumbhaka, which is external breath retention. So you can just put it to practice the way how we are practicing in here. So we're doing 60 strokes. After 60 strokes, we're exhaling completely. Then we are inhaling deeply and holding the breath as much as comfortable. In here as well, as you noticed today, for example, I gave you a couple of different things to add in here, right? So we were holding the breath, but we were still holding Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, tongue on the roof, and eyes rolled up. So it just feel you are ready, you will feel you need it. At the beginning, it is just simply 60 strokes, and maybe adding the breath retention if you need, if you feel like. Just allowing yourself to get used to the practices step by step. We don't want to jumping straight to some advanced thing if we didn't really feel fully the basic, the variation. Okay, after 3 rounds of Kapalbhati, I always do Nauli. This everything what I'm telling is whenever I'm not on my cycle. When I'm on my cycle, I would do completely different thing, which I tell you right after. So that after that, I'm doing Nauli. I do always 3 rounds. I do 9 repetitions to the right, then coming back, 9 repetitions to the left, coming back, and repeating it 3 times. After 3 rounds of Nauli, I'm doing some Nadi Shodhana, and then full yogic breath. We just had it today first time. You were not on the class, no? Yeah. Today it was first time because today is the first day of our advanced pranayama week. So I was just introducing you to this today. And we will keep practicing during that week more. And of course, this doesn't, as I told you already, it doesn't come on the first time when you're trying. When I tried first time, I was like, oh, no, I'm not able. It's not going to work, never. But then first week, still didn't work. Second, still. Third, still. And then after maybe a little more than 1 month, I noticed that there is something actually happening. But it was taking me a long time. Huh?
What was coming after Nauli?
After Nauli, Nadi Shodhana. Alternate nostril breathing.
What I don't understand is like every breath has something different to your body. Like why are we doing this in the morning? Like after. I don't understand why we're not for meditating we use this breath, then for our practice we use this breath. But for me it sounds so wrong every day in the morning to use so many different breaths.
So many different breaths, you mean?
It's weird for me.
So if you feel that it's weird for you, exactly, when you form your own practice, just think what you need for yourself.
Okay.
Everyone is different and every moment of your life is also different, right? So maybe right now you just need something more steady, something to be more grounded and just to do one thing during longer time. So maybe just stay with Ujjayi breath for a long time or do proper Nadi Shodhana for 30 minutes or whatever you would like to put in here. Yeah, you don't need to do all of those things. Yeah. Now I'm sharing with you my routine, which is just because I feel I need more energy in the morning and also right after I'm practicing Ashtanga. So for the Ashtanga practice, I want to be really heated and warm up and awaken more. So that's the practice which helps me in that. Yeah.
Supposed to be a daily practice.
Yes. Daily practice. Traditionally, you would keep 1 day off, and also not practice during the full moon. So these are but normally it's a daily practice. Every day, daily routine, repeating the same sequence until you are ready for the next sequence. Because this is coming just from the traditional, Indian thing. So also the energy is very, very powerful on the full moon, and this practice is just not going together with. What am I doing for the full moon? Resting or doing some gentle stretches. I'm doing just more gentle practice usually. Yeah.
Do you have 1 day without yoga at all?
Yes, I have. 1 day. But sometimes even more days. Like last week, for example, I was feeling really weak with my energy. So 1 day I kept completely. Second day I did very lazy practice, very gentle practice, but still I show up on my mat. So I think that this is really important. It's not that we have to every single day do this full primary series, let's say. Even if the days when you feel like you're just not able, your physical body is not allowing you this day. But still showing up on your mat, just maybe staying in Shavasana for all the time, or breathing, or doing some cat and cow, or child's pose, whatever works for that day. But keeping that daily practice, showing up, and if you are really dedicated to your daily practice, working on it every single day, however it is. Yes? How long is what? Sorry? Full primary is 1 hour, 20 minutes more or less. Yes, but the way how we do, because I have to talk more. Normally, it's always 5 breaths with every posture, and there is no talking in between. So you direct your right toes to the back of the shala, left toes 90 degrees, ensure your knees rotated, blah, blah, blah. So I have to put a lot of words in between, so it takes more time. But if you really follow the sequence, you can do it in like a little over 1 hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes maybe.
Your eyes are supposed to open and your mouth's supposed to be shut the entire time, right?
Yes. Supposed to. Yeah. No, 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 no. I'm doing first. I just started second. Yeah, I started second series a couple of months ago. And it's very, very challenging for me because I have challenges with my back bend. I had actually accident in the aircraft like 2 years ago, and it blocked me very, very much with my practice. I was not able to walk for like 2 months, and even like my practice blocked completely. So like seriously, I could not do anything, nothing. I was completely blocked. And after that, slowly I started coming back to my practice. I used to always do hatha. So I just came back to my hatha practice, which was very gentle, like for the old grandma, really. And it took me a while. But after that, I started to get back to my strength. And actually, I learned a lot about my spine during that time. And after some period, actually, I discovered Ashtanga. In that time, when I was super weak, like really, I lost all my power during this period. But then with Ashtanga, I started to actually really regain that strength, that power. At the beginning, I just keep injuring myself more because I think there was like really a lot of things I had to still burn out and put out in the emotional way, in the physical way. But I didn't stop. In this time when I hurt my neck, for example, I hurt my back during the practice, I just get a little rest, but I kept going. And my body just became more strong, more healed, more open, step by step, day by day. So that's why I'm really so in love and so passionate about that practice, because I know how much healing it can give. Yes?
What time do you meditate? After pranayama or after pranayama?
Yes. So traditionally, if you follow the Patanjali way, comes asana, pranayama, and meditation comes after, right? Yes. So that's if you want to go with this traditional way. For us, we always have pranayama first in here, and then we have asana. Just also, I was talking about it with Piwi at the beginning. Basically, she also believes that it just helps us to prepare more for the asana practice. If you really breathe at the beginning, if you really connect to your body, connect to your breath, it's just easier to enter into the asana practice in here. So that's why how I practice myself as well. It just feels more natural for me. When I do the breathing practice first, after that I'm doing maybe some short meditation in between if I feel like staying for longer. just in my stillness after the breathing, and then I go to asana practice. Or I just put meditation after Ashtanga practice. Yeah. Yes, this is the very perfect time, right? Because you are already, everything is done and you're just, of course, and you're ready in every way, physical, emotional. Yes?
Switch again. So we really start with 5 breathers in Tadasana and then bend forward, 5 breathers halfway up.
What are you talking about now?
It's like we're doing full 5 breaths in each single kind of a breath.
Ah, yes, but not sun salutation. Surya Namaskara is a flow, right?
All right.
So you keep going. Then you have your, where is that? Yeah, well, you have the sequence on the laminated paper. Surya Namaskara A and B, it's a flow. You do one, when you do vinyasa, it's one breath, everything, every posture is one breath. And then just downward facing dog, you hold for 5. That's how we do. Everything is how we do in the class.
Okay.
Then you have the ending postures. When you go deep to the posture, you stay for 5. Then you're changing to the next. Yeah, so that's what is for 5. And then some of the closing you would hold for longer, for 8 or for 15, like headstand, for example. Yeah. Okay, any other question, or can we move forward from the self-practice? Ah, one more thing also I have to say, self-practice.
You were telling us about the Surya Vedana and Chandra Vedana, and you said we are not using it in daily practice. What are the exact occasions, like the exact occasions when we use it?
Okay, so Chandra Vedana, the one left to the right, it's very cooling breath. Surya Vedana, right to left, is very heating breath. So they are complete opposites. So when you would use this cooling breath, for example, for some meditation practices, if you are really going deep inwards, you want to stay calm, stay still, stay silent, that's when you could practice that cooling breath. Also, if you have so much fire inside you, when you want to cool down yourself, that's when you would use cooling breath. When you want more heat, on the other hand, more energy, more power, more strength in here, that's when you would use the heating up breath, the Surya Vedana, the sun breath. The moon breath, cooling, the sun breath, heating up. However, as I told you, we just introduce you to those techniques. They are more advanced techniques, which are not recommended to put into daily practice. That's why Nadi Shodhana is in between all of that. It's balancing, it's calming for both sides in here. Does it reply your question? Yes?
But Naoli is not actually pranayama, or
Nauli is actually one of Shatkarmas, which are kriyas, which are cleansing techniques. So it's one of the cleansing techniques which helps you to detoxify your body, to clean your body. So it's not actually pranayama. It's a technique which I put in there for the advanced week because I feel like it's really useful and it helps me a lot with my metabolism as well, just with my detoxifying process. Yeah, but they would put a lot in the different practices. Yes, she was first. A little louder, please. We are holding when we inhale, you ask? So this is depending. We have 2 different types of kumbhaka. Kumbhaka means breath retention. We have antar kumbhaka, which is internal breath retention after inhalation. Internal breath retention, so you have breath in the lungs. You're holding the breath. So inhale, breath retention. And after, you exhale. And if you retain after exhalation, this is bahir kumbhaka, when the lungs are empty. They're never empty completely, but basically after exhalation. Antar kumbhaka, internal breath retention. Bahir kumbhaka, external breath retention. You have it written here. I wrote it very little. But if you want to take, somebody took a photo, maybe you can share it on the group. I don't know who was it. So they are both helping us to find more clarity, to be more focused. and to find that one-pointedness which is needed for the meditation. Because basically, I believe that if there is no breath, there are no thoughts coming, no monkey mind in here. So you are easier to find the silent mind. And both of them, they have the same influence in here. They are both quieting you. Just the Bahir Kumbhaka is more difficult. When there is no air, that's when it's more difficult to hold. If you have air in your lungs, it's easier to hold that retention of the breath. That's why also one of the next points I will share with you that how to teach pranayama. First, you would introduce students to antar kumbhaka, to that internal breath retention. That's why you were saying we're inhaling, holding, exhaling, and then coming back. Because that was at the beginning, when we were just training antar kumbhaka. After that, we also add the bahir kumbhaka, the retention after exhalation, like we're practicing today. We're practicing inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So then we had both retentions, internal and external, which is more advanced. Yeah.
Just we usually practice after Kapalabhati, we do Mahabandha with Antar Kumbhaka.
Yes, I would do, yes, you can put it like this. I would do sometimes also Bahir Kumbhaka with Mahabandha. Mahabandha, which are 3 bandhas all together. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana, and Jalandhara. So this is called ultimate lock, 3 bandhas together. I would actually do it sometimes after with the Bahir Kumbhaka as well. Yeah. You had also a question, I believe?
When first out of curiosity, if you ever do some physical stretch of your leg instead of pranayama?
Not really, but you can just do, if you feel your body is still closed really a lot. I would just do a couple of twists sometimes actually, and then opening my chest with inhale, closing with exhale, just doing this kind of movements, rolling the shoulders, opening your chest. That can help you with that. All right. Okay.
When you do the Nadi Shodhana,
Yes.
then do you also with breath retention?
Yes, you can do it with breath retention like we did today.
Both.
Yes, for both, internal, external. At the beginning, when you introduce people to the breathing techniques, first you always would show the basic variation, which here will be just inhale, exhale, alternate. After that, you could add kumbhaka, maybe antar kumbhaka first, which is the internal retention. And after that, when they are confident with that, you add antar and bahir together at the same time. First, also the time of that. First, you would put shorter time of the retention, maybe just half of the inhalation and exhalation time. And after that, maybe you make it equal. After that, maybe you make it bigger, higher.
For the personal practice, the longer the better, in long term.
Yes, of course, but it depends also on your capacity. We don't want to be taking the breath after in the way that you are grasping for the air. You just want to do it still in this controlled and peaceful way. So actually how it's written, I don't remember which book was that, but was one book with the commentary on the Yoga Sutras. So it's supposed to be inhalation on the ratio of 1, then retention for ratio of 4, then exhalation 2, and retention 4 again. So for example, you're breathing in, let's say for count of 4, then holding for count of 16, releasing for count of 8, and again holding for count of 16. Yes. So we will practice that in this week, one time only. For now, we just keep going with the equal inhale, exhale, and retention. All right, can we move forward? Okay, last question and we move forward.
This may be a slightly off topic, but in hot yoga, they have the Kapalabhati at the end.
Okay.
What do you think of that? Because it's so hot.
I never went to hot yoga, so I have no idea why is it like that. It's actually interesting, because usually Kapalabhati you would put at the beginning, as it's heating, as it's warming up. So that's how you would put at the beginning of the practice. But I don't know anything about hot yoga, so I cannot tell my comment in here. Okay, let's move forward. So next point, sorry, one more thing I wanted to mention about self-practice. I said that on my cycle, I wouldn't practice in that way. On my cycle, I would basically do Ujjayi, full yogic breath, Nadi Shodhana, and that's all what I would do. Because I don't feel like I need anything else, anything different. I will just do very gentle practice. I really feel like I need this deep breathing, I need longer meditation, just staying still, just being calm. Also the physical asana practice I would do much more gentle way. Maybe I wouldn't do basically anything, I would take the rest the day off, or maybe I would just do some little child's pose, or this pose is very good during the menstruation. It helps to release the tension from the lower abdominal area. Maybe just some kind of little twist while laying, wherever is comfortable. But I wouldn't do the intense practice during that time. And then also, as I mentioned, to really skip that Nauli Agnisara practices right before the period, and also during, obviously. Because it's just too intense. It's not working together with our bodies. All right. Let's move to the second point. We have to move a little bit forward. So, voice, rhythm, and cant. These are also very important aspects of how, when are you teaching your students, you really want to keep that voice steady and calm, that everyone can hear you, obviously. So again, projecting the voice. That I'm sure that she can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes. Amazing. At the beginning, we're not really aware of the voice, of our voice, because we are used to this conversational way of talking. So like, hey, how are you? I'm good, and how are you? Oh, what did you have for breakfast? And even if you think that you speak loud, if you speak in this conversational tone, they will not hear you. So we really need to project the voice. We really need to work on not screaming, not shouting. So we really have to keep that voice still, calm and grounded. However, you have to project it. So people from far away, they can still hear you. And this is just practice. So at the beginning might be challenging, but just keep trying, keep doing that, and keep breathing deeply yourself. If you breathe deeply, that's the way how you can stay grounded, stay calm. If the stress is coming when you are beginning to teach, really that deep breath makes magic. And being confident, believing in yourself, teaching this what you know, this what you practice yourself, this what you are experiencing on your own body. This is what we want to teach, and that will also help us to be confident of our voice, to be able to project it, to be able to keep it calm and controlled. All right, rhythm and cant when we teach pranayama, it's very important because we need to obviously keep that rhythm. And again, how to keep that rhythm? Breath, your own breath. Staying grounded with your own breath, breathing deeply, breathing steadily. Maybe if you are stressed before, when you are coming to the class, taking that little moment with everybody, when you are telling people to close the eyes, to take a couple of deep breaths, you can do the class first time and you are very stressed. You are like, ooh, very stressed, very shy, a lot of people, a lot of eyes on you. Then just really, close your eyes, everybody. You're closing your eyes together with them. Just breathing deeply, steadily, in and out, and saying whatever you need for yourself, whatever calms you down in this moment. Maybe certain visualization, maybe certain breathing technique, maybe just staying still and observing your breath. Whatever works for you, you can just say it, and then it will help people to be really present in the moment, and also yourself to work on your being grounded, basically. Yes? That we will go to, which is, yeah, we can actually say already now. Exactly. So you notice, for example, for Kapalbhati, I would tell you, first I would count the 60 strokes for you guys. After that, last round, I would leave you for your self-practice. So what is the difference in here? At the beginning, we want to count more because people get very distracted. Maybe they completely forgot the count. Maybe they even forgot what kind of technique they're supposed to be doing because they didn't listen to you because their mind was somewhere on the breakfast time. So that's why at the beginning we are keeping the count and helping people to stay with that count. However, it might be very annoying for some people who are confident with their practice already and have completely different rhythm than you are saying. So they are, oh my God, can she stop talking? I just want to do it my own rhythm. So that's why after that, I'm leaving you for your self-practice. because you can adjust it to your own rhythm. But always, when you teach at the beginning, you want people to know exactly what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do. And in the big group classes, it's more difficult, of course, because everyone is in some different spot of this journey. So maybe somebody is super comfortable with their breathing already, and somebody is not feeling that breath yet at all. So that's why we need to put some kind of structure in here when we are teaching. That's why we're starting to teach with the count, with the rhythm, and after that, when we explain everything, we can leave people for the self-practice. And after that, of course, more self-practice, and less that counting time, less the explanation time. Okay. And the count, of course, you want to keep it rhythmic. You want to keep your breath deep yourself so you can actually count with people. As well, you don't have to actually count physically numbers. Everyone can do it differently. Maybe somebody will do just Kapalbhati, let's say, without counting the 60 strokes. Maybe just in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Or maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Or maybe counting 60 breaths. Or maybe some people will just make some kind of sound, or use even the application. There is this application, Metro something, one of my teachers was using. So we would just put the sound from the speaker would come just with some kind of rhythm. And everyone can count in their own way, which actually is really nice. At the beginning, I was like, oh, that's weird with this application. But after that, it's good because everyone can still count and everyone can keep the rhythm in their own way. So there are many different ways. You don't need to teach in some way which we are teaching you in here, but just checking whatever works for you for your own teaching. Okay. Any other question in here? Good.
When you actually teach and you only have 1 hour, where do you cut the sequence?
You're talking about Ashtanga still?
Yes.
Then I cut some postures from the middle, some postures from the end. I'm just...
But not from the beginning, so the...
No, Surya Namaskara A and B is like a warm-up. I would always put it, always.
Right.
Then certain standing postures you can skip. Maybe Ardha Baddha Padmotanasana, the last one. Or maybe the... Which ones you can skip? And also cut the Prasarita Padottanasana, the forward fold where you have A, B, C, D. Maybe you can do just A, like we did today, only A. Then you can just cut certain postures, but certain are there really needed. Like first forward fold is needed. The triangle, the twisted ones. These are needed postures because it prepares you also for the sitting. So you need to just think which postures you can cut, which post has to be there. You can come, if you are preparing it for the exam, you can come after class to me and we can discuss which ones. Okay, coming back. I would divide them for cooling, balancing, and energizing. So which cooling techniques did you get to know? You asked about one. Chandra Vedana was one of cooling techniques. Another cooling techniques, we did it today.
Taco breathe.
Shita, huh? What breed?
Taco.
Taco. Shitali or Sitkari. So Shitali with the tongue, Sitkari with the teeth. This is another cooling technique. So when would you put those techniques of the cooling ones? Ideally, exactly. If you are having your class, if you are structuring the class, you would put them when you want people to cool down, to calm down, to relax after the intense practice which they went through. Then we have some balancing. Which ones would be balancing? Nadi Shodhana, perfect. Another one. Full yogic breath as well. Ujjayi as well is balancing. It actually has kind of heating effect on the body as well, but it's balancing. It's just slow and deep breath. So those balancing techniques, you can put anywhere basically. You can use them also during the day. They don't have any kind of contraindications. They are safe to practice and you can feed them in the class anytime. And anytime during the day as well. Then we have some of these energizing techniques, which would be what, for example? Kapalbhati, Bastrika. Yes, exactly. As well, the practices we had today, Agnisara, Nauli, all of those. And the other one, which we said today also about Surya Vedana, yes, that's another of these heating techniques. So all of them, in here in the traditional way, if you would prepare your vinyasa or hatha class, I don't know about hot yoga again, but you would put them at the beginning when you want that fire to go up, when you want the heat to be boosted. Also thinking, what kind of class are you giving? If you are giving some very calm, very grounding class, maybe yin yoga class, something when you are really calm, slow, would you really put Agnisara, would you put Kapalbhati so much there? No, because it's like doesn't feel it's needed there, right? Or maybe you would like a little bit of heat, so then maybe you would put one rand. Depends, but just like trying to think what actually you want to do with that breathing technique, and then it will be easier for you to just understand where can you put it in your asana class. So this what I'm telling you how we are practicing pranayama, of course, is for the yoga teacher training. So that's why you're getting to know all of those techniques. But usually you will not, I believe not all of you will have the pranayama classes to be doing, which you will have 1 hour only for pranayama. So probably you would choose maybe for your own yoga class, maybe 1 breathing technique, maybe 2, maybe 3, if you really are in love with pranayama. In here you're just learning what effect they have on the practice, mind. And now you can apply them on your asana classes as well. Yes?
I can find Agnisara and Nauli in the book. Are they?
I believe they might be in the Kriya section, but I'm not sure if they are, no? No, they are not. Yes, there are some things missing in the manual, which I also noticed, so we are still working on improving it. I sent you though the document now on group. I put all the benefits and contraindications of all the texts which we are. You have it now on the group chat. You can have a look at that later. And just, yeah, anytime you're having your class, you can always read, because as we said, some of them have contraindications. So they should not be practiced by everyone. So anytime you're teaching those breathing techniques, you really need to think what kind of students you have coming to your class, and if it's safe for everybody to practice. Especially those more energizing, more heating techniques. As we said, you basically don't want to create more heat for people who have too much heat. So for people who have high blood pressure, heart disease, maybe ulcer as well, maybe some kind of belly region operations, you would practice those instincts where you are really bringing the fire up. On the other hand, the cooling ones, you wouldn't practice for someone who has like super slow digestion, the people who are really very slow. We will learn about the Ayurveda also, about the types in Ayurveda, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So you will also connect that with the types from there. I'm just trying to think already in that way to connect the facts, basically. Any other question in here? Yes? For the open class. So again, it depends how you feel with that. Every teacher is different. Some teachers would use a lot of different mudras, a lot of different things. Some teachers are maybe using one, or maybe not using any. So of course, in yoga, there are so many different things which you can connect with, which you can not really connect with. So just checking, what are you connecting with? If you are enjoying deepening the knowledge of mudras, definitely keep reading about them, keep understanding how can you use them, and keep using them for different people in different ways. But it's not obligatory to be using them if you don't feel like. Yes? What kind of? Okay, so kids yoga would be completely different thing, right? How many of you have kids? 1, 2, 3 sometimes? He's too small still. So it's very different. Like, I have 2 little daughters. They are 20 years younger than me and 18 years younger than me. So sometimes I would do a little bit of yoga with them. And as well, I used to go to Jakarta to one place of a friend who has kind of foundation for children. So I would do the kids yoga there for them as well. And it's completely different thing. First of all, you need to keep their attention, which is really difficult. So you need to be kind of funny, interesting, make some story. You cannot just tell them upward facing dog, downward facing dog, because they will leave or fall asleep. So you need to put a little story behind this. Maybe create the story with the seasons or with the animals. Just trying to make it interesting and to connect to the kid. So this is a very, very different thing. Actually, there are all full yoga teacher trainings for kids. So it's not that we can talk about it like, like on one class, but definitely there are a lot of different nice videos on YouTube as well which you can see. I remember when I was doing the classes in Jakarta, I would watch, there was one guy on YouTube and he had super nice classes for the kids, like really nice practices when all of them they would do together. All of them would be chanting together, doing certain postures, breathing. So it's really, really nice, but you have to completely change and actually come back to your childhood a little bit. Remember how you were a kid, what was interesting for you. So yeah, this is very, very interesting thing.
If they have, for example, problems to concentrate in school, would you recommend doing some calming breathing techniques?
Definitely, you could try. However, you would have to do it in some different way, right? So they wouldn't get bored. So you could do some kind of breathing things, but maybe first you would put them to that through some certain story. Maybe some little movement with making a lion or a tiger or some kind of different animals so they can get into the story. And then maybe tell the story that, okay, now lion is very quiet because he's hunting. So he's closing the eyes and just breathing. So maybe bringing them through the story, like it just comes to me right now. I don't know what I'm saying even. But I think it might work. Just trying to keep them concentrated and through the story. And definitely it could help them for sure with the concentration. Any other questions? All right. So pranayama types we discussed, class structure we discussed. Okay, so let's move pranayama from beginner to advanced. As you notice, the program of pranayama, which you're still going through, week by week it was a little different, right? And all the time, every few classes, we would add some new element. So that's why I want to show you right now how I prepare that structure for the pranayama. And you can also think later how you would teach your students, because you can see the level of them, especially if you have only one person coming for the private class or you are just with a smaller group. Then you can see if these people are already maybe on more advanced level or they are completely not aware of the way they breathe, and you really need to put more attention to that first point, which is developing breath awareness. So when you came just in here, the first days, you had this developing of breath awareness. When we would do the full yogic breath, ujjayi breath, belly breathing, chest breathing, kidney breathing. You done these 3 types of breathing, right? With the block on the belly, block underneath the chest. You remember still? Yeah. So these types of breathing, they basically teach us how to breathe. Because so many people, they are completely not aware of the way they breathe. So you wouldn't start to introduce them to bandhas, nauli, or even to kapalbhati if they don't feel breath yet. That's why we need to enter through this first phase, deep awareness. And just thinking is the same with the asana practice. You wouldn't give somebody super hard asana, some crazy inversions or anything was very challenging and really requires this proper technique from the base if they don't have the base. If they don't have proper tadasana or proper dandasana, any of the proper basic things. So that's why, first of all, developing that breath awareness. Maybe explaining how actually the breath travels in the body. Which parts of the body should expand with the inhale, which parts should shrink, should contract. Because a lot of people, they don't even know it. On the inhalation, some people would be sucking belly in and just lifting the chest. And this is not correct in here. So first you have to introduce them to first inhale, expanding everything, exhale, contracting everything, and one palm on the block while laying on the back and doing this belly breathing. So there are many different ways how you can do it, but actually making people feel their breath. Because some of them, they will feel it for the very first time ever. Because they are not practicing that in their daily life. And they forget to know how they breathe actually. So at the beginning, it might be very, very difficult. When I practice it with some people from my family, with my father, with my grandma, they are like really, now they are much better. But at the beginning, they were just not able to take a deep breath at all. Because that's not in their lifestyle. They didn't know, they didn't think of breathing, smooth breathing. It's just something we do naturally. So some people are completely not aware. That's why it's important to first help them to feel their breath. And in here we need a little bit of patience. So we wouldn't jump straight away to the next steps if they are not really feeling. That they can feel that they are really aware of their breath, helping them to develop that awareness. And after that is the time when we can go actually to introducing basic versions of pranayama techniques. Introducing basic versions. So showing any technique which the student would need, you know that they would need. Maybe they need more energy, more fire. You would put some of this energizing. Maybe you just want to help them balance. Maybe you want to cool down. So you would choose what do you want to teach them now. And again, basic versions. At the beginning, just basic, just explaining how to do, what influence does it have, explaining benefits, contraindications. And after they are okay with that basic variation, that's the time when we can start changing that basic variation. So let's take Ujjayi breath. First, you would just show them deep in and out, explaining them how to actually generate the sound, how to make that Ujjayi breath. After some time, you would maybe help them to lengthen the breath in and out. So if you would breathe just for 3 seconds, maybe after that for 5. And after that, if they are so comfortable with that, you would add kumbhaka, you would add breath retention. First, we would add antar kumbhaka, which is that internal breath retention, which is easier to hold. And after that, if they are comfortable with antar kumbhaka, you would add also bahir kumbhaka, which is external breath retention. So in here, we would already create that square breathing, Ujjayi breath. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And that applies to all the other techniques, like Kapalbhati, like Nadi Shodhana, any kind of technique which we're doing. First basic variation, and then introducing kumbhaka. After kumbhaka, yes, you have some.
Oh, yeah, I was just curious, like, if when you start teaching and you always have new people coming into class, say you have like 5 people who are always in the class, and then new people as well, how do you know when to step it up into the next thing? Because
Yeah.
some people already know and there's always newer people.
Yeah, so of course you can, that's the thing, like yoga was taught, as we said, from the teacher to the student, not from the teacher to the students. Because it would be for one person, particular body, particular mind, particular moment of the life. So if we have group, of course, we're trying to explain everything. If you see, you already taught everybody, let's say until like half of that scripture in here. But those 3 people, they have no idea about the breath awareness. So maybe you would take a little moment to explain first full yogic breath or Ujjayi breathing. Maybe you would combine it in some way. And then say, if you are comfortable, let's go to that breathing technique. Everybody who knows, and the people who don't know, just continue with the full yogic breath. Just trying to balance in here the class. So that's why we need to be really present and aware of the people who are on our class. So that's a very good question. Because we just really need to feel and try to give people this what they need, because why we are doing that? We want to help them to feel better, to be more healthy, to be more peaceful. That's how we can find the way, by connecting with them and by just trying to listen and to understand. Any other question? All right. So after kumbhaka, if they are comfortable with kumbhaka, that's the time when I introduce you to bandhas. So I explain you about Mulanda, about Uddiyana, Jalandhar Bandha, and we started to practice them. First, we did it only one time so far. So we did it, right, one time, I believe. So we did it with standing, because when we are standing, it's easier to apply those bandhas. That's why I put first standing bandha practice as first. So just explanation of bandhas and practicing it standing. And after that, We will practice it maybe several more times. Maybe not really, because I'm not having all the classes with you guys. There will be some classes also with Manish and with Amira. But you will practice it a few more times. So after standing, basically, we can apply the bandhas also while sitting. It can be just simply when we are sitting, applying them together with the breath, or it can be added to certain breathing techniques. Let's say you asked me today after Kapalbhati to hold Mahabandha, which are all three bandhas together, with the internal breath retention or with the external breath retention. So that's how you can add those practices after, when your practice is more developed. And of course, for the students, if you are sure that their practice is more developed, not for the beginners. As well, we can add it to, for example, Nadi Shodhana. For example, if you are inhaling, holding Antar Kumbhaka, applying Mula Bandha, releasing Mula Bandha, exhaling from the right, and then external breath retention, Uddiyana and Jalandhara Bandha. Then releasing, inhaling again, Mula, exhaling, Uddiyana Jalandhara. So you can put the practice even to those different breathing techniques. So that's when our basic version of pranayama, through Kumbhaka, through breath retention, is going to this technique together with bandhas. As well, another thing in here, with the kant and with the rhythm. At the beginning, of course, you're holding that kant a little shorter. Especially if you have group class. Some people would be able to hold the breath for longer, some people for a very little time. So always you need to give them the option. We don't want to be forcing ourselves in here. So always letting people know that this is only according to their capacity for today. They will feel comfortable, they will not struggle to hold if they cannot hold. And also it can be challenging to keep the content rhythm which will fit everyone, because it's never going to happen if we have a big group class. For someone you will be too fast, for someone you will be too slow. So that's why at the beginning counting, but after that, when everything is explained, leaving them for a little of self-practice. So they will appreciate it more, be able to appreciate more. And yes, after the bandhas, actually one more thing about Kumbhaka. So as I said, first short, then maybe the same as inhalation and exhalation, and then maybe even longer. So at the beginning, when we practiced for the first time, I made inhalation for 5, holding for 3, exhalation for 5. So here the Kumbhaka, the retention would be shorter. But after that, I made it equal. So it would be inhale 5, hold 5, exhale 5. Yes, after some time, you could make it longer. So traditional way, how it's supposed to be, the ratio of inhalation would be 1, the ratio of retention would be 4, and the ratio of exhalation would be 2. And then again, ratio of holding of the external breath retention would be also 4. So 1 to 4 to 1. I will write it down in here maybe. One, 4, 2, 4. So for example, if you are breathing in Nadi Shodhana for count of 4, then you are holding for count of 16, then you're exhaling from the right for count of 8, and then you are holding again for count of 16. So in here, of course, you can adjust the different numbers, but that's about the ratio, how it would be for the advanced practitioner. At the beginning, of course, that must go down. Everything must go down, basically. That must go down even more than that, the retention phase. Maha Bandha, M-A-H-A. Yes? You don't give presentation? Breath retention? Yeah. At the beginning, no, of course. At the beginning, no. Just how we said, first basic technique, then you can introduce them after some time to the retention of the breath and then to the bandhas. But just gradually. That they are comfortable with the first phase before stepping to the second one. Okay. So after bandhas, as practice today, I introduced you to Agnisara and Nauli, which was the Kriya techniques, which are much more advanced, and they need actually more of that breath awareness. First of all, breath awareness. Then second, knowledge about the kumbhaka, about breath retention, which first you trained. After that, you train the bandhas. So you actually know what is that Uddiyana bandha, which we have to apply for practice of Agnisara and Nauli. So all the previous things, previous steps, they are preparing us for the next one in here. Then again, we are practicing just first Agnisara maybe. I show you both techniques today just because I want you to know that they are there, and so we don't have enough time. But normally, maybe you would practice only Agnisara for a while, for a few weeks at least. And maybe after that, you would add Nauli, slowly, slowly, when really people can feel, can actually, as I showed you, the second step of Agnisara, right? First was just in and out, second, that part of the belly would be coming in and out. So maybe when they are ready with that, starting with the rolling. Always trying to find the step and the variation for everybody, which would fit to everyone, giving options, giving modifications. Yes? Which one? Repeat what? To repeat? To show it? Oh, I had breakfast. I don't think I can show it. But I can try. Let's see. I don't. Maybe tomorrow I can show. No, tomorrow I don't have class. Okay, let's try. I'm not sure if it's gonna come out or something else gonna come out with the banana bread. No, I cannot do it now. I can do it day after tomorrow, okay? But on Agnisara, I will just present you while we are standing. So we are always opening for both Agnisara and Nauli, legs wide, so they are comfortable, more than hip apart. Then we are inhaling, exhaling out from the mouth, then locking from here. I'm always locking my elbows, sucking the belly in, Uddiyana Bandha, and pulling the navel inwards. So when I'm pulling, actually I'm curving my spine a little bit. If I'm staying in here, it's very difficult to flap the belly. So just curving your spine a little bit in here, and then pulling your belly in and out for Agnisara. And for Nauli, it would be rolling into one side, and then coming back up, and then rolling to the other side. The same thing, yeah? Day after tomorrow, I can show it again. With more light? Okay, so I'll call you close next time and we just come closer. Okay. Yes, any other question in here?
So you consider them Kriya, not Pranayama?
Yes. Well, it's some certain, it's breathing as well, right? Because you're inhaling, you're exhaling, they're holding. But this is Kriya. It's cleansing technique. I would put it to Kriya. And it's obviously Kriya.
So you use it at the beginning.
Sorry?
You use it at the beginning. If you do it at the beginning of
You mean on the class, on the yoga class? Yes, usually yes, because that's fire boosting. When you want to boost the fire at the beginning of the class. All right. Are there any questions about anything from pranayama or anything from teaching? Anything you guys struggle with?
What is the category? There is a category name for Agnisara and Naoli.
I would say that it comes to energizing part. Yes. It's a kriya, it's a cleansing technique. So it's not really in the pranayamas, like in that way, but it's the energizing technique.
What is the Sanskrit name? As there is that Banda part? What is that?
Kriyas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes?
When you first started teaching, did you have stuff written down in front of you, or did you just flow?
No, I didn't. I didn't have. And actually, I would teach pranayama before only on the yoga classes. So I would put some 1, 2, 3 breathing techniques to my asana classes. And I started to teach pranayama here in House of Om. So actually, I prepare all that structure in here, just because, and it was not so hard for me because it's in my daily practice. And I'm really passionate about pranayama. So when I was in Mysore in India, I was also coming for pranayama classes to one of my amazing, amazing teachers. He was teaching on the teacher training. I would come for 3 of his teacher trainings just to listen. Only to pranayama classes, I mean. Every morning I would come and with different groups just because I really wanted to deepen my knowledge and understanding about that. So just listen, take notes, learn, ask. And yeah, then I was having myself practice for a while, and just after that, I start to think how can I share that knowledge with people and which steps to be taken step by step. So it's me. I would think before the class, like I have the structure for you guys, for example, written in my phone. I have the days from day 1, day 2, day 3, all the practices week by week. And then before I'm coming to the class with you, I look, okay, today is day 9. Okay, that's what the intermediate practice, that's what I should teach them today. Maybe you can use the board. You can put the bullet points for yourself like that. You saw that sometimes if we have the board in the room, then I'm putting the techniques which we are actually practicing. Then it's also for my own eye. Maybe I would forget, oh, what should I do after? So then I look at the board, okay. And then I can say, but I'm not advising to hold the notebook with the notes together with you because it's not really professional. And if you keep checking, keep looking, of course it's okay if you have at the beginning to have some little cheat sheet if you really need to, but better to not put it as a habit because then it's very easy to get used to that and it will be very difficult to lose it, to leave it.
What major change did you notice in your all-day practicing pranayama so thoroughly?
Sorry, what
major change did you experience in your all-day
okay.
by practicing pranayama so intensively?
Well, definitely much more calmness, peace, clarity, just being able to focus more, to concentrate on this, what I want to concentrate on, instead of my mind is running everywhere around. I have 1 million ideas per minute and I'm putting one finger to this idea, the other to the other, and they don't want to go together. So this helps me just to stay more focused, basically, to choose the priorities which I want to choose, to quiet a little bit more down, and also this energizing practice on the physical level, they really help me with my metabolism, with just releasing the toxins from the body. So that's what it means for me, for my daily practice. Any other question? All right. We will close the class here now then. Yeah, we have 2 more days to go. I will have with you also Ayurveda class in a couple of days. And after, I think it's like a confidence of speaking confidence class. And after that, you will have your exam almost. So if you have also any questions about the exam, if you are not sure how to build your sequence, you can always come to me or to Piwi or to any of the teachers, and we are all here for you, yeah? Okay.
This is the perfect timing for classes, but what's the difference between the 200-hour and the 300-hour yoga teaching?
Well, 300-hour is the second level. So it's for people who already have 200-hour course. 200 hours is the base, is the first course of yoga, right? The one which you are doing now. After that, you can go for the advanced teacher training, which is 300-hour.
Content-wise, like the same topics all over again? Or?
No, of course, you will go to more advanced techniques. The techniques which you were not covering on that course, which this course is preparing you for the ones which you will have on 300. But there will be just more, of course, it will be also about asana, about pranayama, about meditation, all of the practices which we have here, just on the deep level, one step ahead, yeah? Okay, finish of the questions? Right, let's finish the class, sitting upright. Taking a little moment to close your eyes. Taking a deep breath in and breathing out. Taking a moment to allow all the knowledge from today to just sink into you. It will be always somewhere there whenever you need. Maybe you need to dig in a little bit, but it's there. Bringing your palms together in front of your heart center. Taking a deep inhale. Complete exhale. Deep inhale for 1 Om. Slowly opening your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much. Okay.
What did you do this morning?
Huh?
What did you do this morning with them?
Without you?
Yeah.
I was showing a bit, but they were not recording, so I was just walking around
yeah,
anyway.
Because they weren't live streaming today. No?
Yeah, I was just walking around. Nordsky came at the end of the class and he's like, "Do you want me to assist?" I'm like, "Well, no." Oh, I'm still recording that? Bye bye.
You're still releasing.